Right, back with you tonight here on In Focus. Now, Geoffrey Toyana is a cricket coach with an inspirational story that starts in Orlando, Soweto, to winning trophies at the highest level of the game. He has even been touted as a future Proteas coach, while some believe he should have long taken charge of the national team. He sat down with our Benjamin Leshoro to talk about his rise to fame and the challenges he's had to face in the sport at both player and coach level. That's where I'm going to leave you for tonight. Two parts of that conversation coming next. For Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405, I am Thabo Mdluli. Thank you for the privilege of your time tonight. Goodbye.
Coach Geoffrey Toyana is a big name in South African cricket, one of the most accomplished coaches you'll find in the country. Many of you might remember him at the Lions at the Wanderers a few years back. In fact, he spent a few seasons there and winning a few trophies, no less than 4 in fact, and worked with some of the most accomplished cricketing stars that you know today, the likes of KG Rabada, Quinton de Kock, Rassie van der Dussen, Themba Bavuma. I could name them. The list goes on, and he is our guest today. In fact, we are his guests because he's welcomed us here at Willamore Park, a cricket ground with so much history of its own in South African cricket. But Coach, thank you so much for welcoming us this morning. How are you?
Yes, hi Benji. Thank you for inviting me, and it's good to be here. Yes, I'm good. Yeah. I mean, we are towards the end, of the season. I mean, it's off season now, so we're just chilling just for a couple of weeks before we get back into things. But I'm good.
Well, thank you so much for welcoming us. I mentioned that we are your guests, and this is your home. This is Willamore Park, home of Easterns, or some of the older viewers, Eastern Transvaal,
yes.
If you want to call it like that. You were called back here last year, and when I spoke to you then, you said it's a homecoming for you. Explain that for us.
Yeah, I mean, Benoni Willamore Park is the home of cricket for me, where, everything started here for me, if I'm being honest, because I was contracted at Lions Cricket as a player. And then I lost my contract in 2002. And then Ray Jennings was the head coach at Easterns. He called me up when I thought my career was over. So he called me up to play for him. And then I played here for 6 years or so before franchise cricket came into the fore. And then I was one of the fortunate ones as well to go to the Titans as a player, before I started coaching. And then when I lost my contract at Titans as a player, I decided to retire in 2008. And then, I didn't know, where I was going. And then Eastern's Cricket CEO at the time, Kasim Suleiman, called me and said, Jeff, there might be an opportunity for you to coach, cricket. I said, Coach, I'm that's not something that I've thought about or something that
really?
I've thought about doing. Yeah, so...
It's something that just was sprung on you.
It was just sprung on me. Unexpected, because I was coming back from the UK or playing club cricket that side. I came back here no job, no money, nothing basically. And then Kasim phoned me, as I landed. Yeah, then I came here and then he said there's a job for you.
Wow.
Then I was who cares? I'm I don't have any qualifications. I've never coached before. He said, Jeff, it's fine. We'll deal with those later. So they gave me the opportunity here to coach in 2008 with no qualifications, no nothing.
And it was not, sorry coach, it was not fashionable at the time to be given an opportunity to coach as a black African. It's something that definitely wasn't fashionable.
Yeah, it took me by surprise as well. I mean, I never thought that, one day, I will be coaching. And to take the story a touch further, I spent 2 years here, and then I went to the Lions where things, started for me. But because I'm a Joburg boy, I mean, I was born and bred in Soweto, Orlando East. And then I got the opportunity to go back to the Wanderers to be assistant coach to Dave North. And then within a year, I mean, I was head coach of the Lions, I mean, as the first black African coach to coach, cricket in South Africa. Yeah. Something that happened quickly for me, something that I was not ready for. I mean, coaching guys that you've played with, I mean, you know, like here I was now coaching Alviro Peterson, who was my teammate at the Titans. And then like Neil McKenzie, I mean, like who was my teammate at the Lions and at the Titans as well. So yes, it happened quickly for me. And like the stress, you know, like the media at the time, you know, being the first black African coach, I mean, I could not walk anywhere. You know, I got so busy. And then coming to the Lions at the time as well, I mean, like 7 years without a trophy, I mean, when I took over. Just one national player, I think, at the time, which was like Neil McKenzie. And then taking on the job and then having 6 years there, quite a successful 6 years as well, where like we won everything on show. I mean, we ended up, you know, like having about 8, 9 players in the national team, which is the legacy that I think we created as a group, and it's something that's continuing now as well at Lions Cricket. And then from then on, I went back to the Titans, you know, to be assistant coach to like Mandla Mashimbi for 4 years before, you know, like I was called up to come back to Easterns. And quite coincidentally, all the teams that I've coached, you know, I've played for. You know, like I've played for Lions and coached them. I've played for Titans and coached them. And then now I'm back at Easterns and I'm coaching them. Full circle.
Full circle. Do you feel though, Coach, that, I mean, the fact that you're always being referred to as the first black coach to do this, the first black coach to do that, overshadows, so to speak, your achievements? The fact that you are the first black coach to do this, as opposed to the first coach to do this. You are not a black coach. You are a coach of cricket. I know you can't shake it off. Sport and politics in South Africa has always been intertwined. But does it affect you? Do you wish it was different?
Yes, to be honest, I mean, I think it's dying down now, which is quite good for me. And it allows me to do, you know, like what I'm good at, which is coaching. I think over the years, I mean, you know, like it has changed, which is quite better. But before, I mean, like I was seen as the first black coach. And to be honest, I mean, like I'm a cricket coach. You know, to take away my color and things like that, where I come from. Because where I come from, it's not quite rosy. I mean, coming from Soweto, you know, like with no facilities, you know, like people in the townships, like don't make it to the top. You know, yes, maybe you get fortunate if you get a scholarship to go study, you know, like in those private schools, things get easier for you. So like for a guy like me, I mean, like Orlando High School through and through, I've never been to any private school. It was tough for my family to give me transport money, you know, to go to the Wanderers at the time. It was tough for my mom. I mean, like she had to go borrow money, you know, like from the neighbors. Where like Soweto, I mean, also is like the neighbors are quite kind there, you know, like they try help out when they can.
Yeah.
And getting that job, you know, like was quite stressful.
It takes a village type of thing.
Yeah, no, like that's Soweto for you or any other township. And quite coincidentally as well, I mean, like when I was announced as the first black coach, I keep using that.
You can't shake it off.
Yeah, then like my mom passed on, you know, like on the same day.
Oh no,
You know, after all that she's done for me, you know, throughout the years, like to pass on, you know, like on this special day was something that pushed me back a bit because I was quite close with my mom. I mean, a like strong woman with 8 kids, you know, like I was 7 of the 8. And then like my family tried to get my brothers, you know, like and sisters involved in sport, but because my father played cricket in the like 1950s and 60s, he played for the Black African 11, which taught Zimbabwe as well in 1976. You know, like I was 2 years old, you know, that time. And so cricket has been part of my family. And my older brothers, they didn't want to play this white man sport. I mean, yes, I played soccer as well growing up. You know, like hence you see my passion in football. You know, like I went to Jomo Cosmos trials because Jomo...
No.
You know, like, yeah, because Jomo stays, you know, almost in my street.
Yes.
You know? So, like I used to go to Orlando Stadium to watch, you know, like Orlando Pirates play there. But I'm not a Pirates fan. You know, like I have to put that
up front.
I know this.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so, you know, coming from Orlando and like there's no opportunities there. I mean, people see that it's a long way to make it to the top. Yeah. You know, so like when this opportunity came for me, you know, I had to make sure that I don't disappoint people. And also, like, I must make sure that I clear, you know, like the path
For
you know,
others
like, for others that are coming behind me.
Yeah.
And I really, really think that I've done that. But yeah, still work in progress. Like my dream is to coach my country one day. Yeah. And like that dream is still burning inside me.
How would you sum up your first season then at Easterns? You mentioned when I spoke to you after your appointment last year, it's been a year now that you've been appointed. How do you make an assessment of that first season? What do you make of it in summary?
Yeah, the biggest drive is to take Easterns cricket to Division 1. You know, like we are playing Division 2 at the moment. It's a young group of players. You know, like you have to change like the mentalities and, you know, get away like from that survival mode, you know, because too many times you come to a place like this and people are just surviving. We don't want to be surviving. We want to be striving. You know, like my biggest drive is to get this place, you know, in that like thriving mode. And things have gone okay this year, but we didn't get promoted. But I can assure you that like next year, you know, like we will get promoted because I've seen how things work now. And I've got the players that I think can take us to the top. And yeah, like the dream continues. And I do feel that I owe, you know, Easterns cricket a lot, like for what they've done for me. And it's time for me, you know, just to get them to Div 1 and get them to playing against the, you know, like your Titans, you know, like and your Lions, and competing against those like those giants in like South African cricket. But yes, it is promising, and like things are looking good, and I'm quite happy here. I mean, like this is the home of cricket.
Yeah,
you know, like this looks very, very good.
Okay, you mentioned then that you boldly declare that you will be promoting Easterns to Division 1 at the end of next season. What happens then after that? Because initially you were given a 2-year contract to come here to Easterns. Do you foresee your future here or elsewhere, having also mentioned that you would also still love to get the head coaching position for the national team?
Yeah, you know, I really think like the future looks bright for me here. And quite coincidentally, I mean, like the first month I was here, like my contract was taken up, you know, like an extra year. So like I'm here for 3 years now.
Okay.
You know, and like the only thing like that will stop me continuing this journey is, you know, like if the Proteas come calling, then I go to the top. But yes, I want to be here, you know, as long as I can. Like this is the hub, I mean, of like South Africa. I mean, like the airport is just around the corner from here. And it hurts sometimes when teams come here and they don't come to Benoni, like they go to the Wanderers,
yeah,
and they go to Supersport Park. You know, like this is, you know, like Ekurhuleni, where like, you know, like everything is here. And hopefully, I mean, like we can put, you know, Easterns, you know, at the top. And like that's my dream. I mean, like that gets me up, you know, every day. And yes, you know, we like fight on. Yes, close last year. But, you know, hopefully like this coming year, definitely Easterns will be playing Division 1.
Thank you so much for still sitting down with us here on Newzroom Afrika channel 405. We have the privilege of sitting down with Coach Geoffrey Toyana. He is coach at Easterns, or Eastern Transvaal for the older ones. This is their home here at Willowmore Park in Benoni, and he's talking to us about his coaching career, the past, the present, and his ambitions going into the future. Let's talk then, Coach, about those ambitions for the national team. You've come close on a couple of occasions, and by a lot of people's standards, you should have long been the head coach of the Proteas. But the one that sticks out the most in a lot of people's minds was at the end of Russell Domingo's term as coach of the Proteas, and you were earmarked. You and Paul Adams were earmarked as one assistant, one head coach, vice versa, whatever the case may be, but you were the front runner for that head coaching position, but you lost out to Otis Gibson. Otis Gibson was then appointed as head coach. How did that make you feel? The snub, what did you think of that back then?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, you know, like I was hurt. Like not hurt as in, you know, like I'm entitled to coach my country, I mean, like I'd done enough. I mean, like I'd done 5 years at the Lions at the time. I produced, 10, 12 Protea players. And then we also like having...
And you can mention them, you can brag.
No, there's too many of them. I mean, Equity Kok was playing for me, and Aaron Pangiso, Chris Morris, Hardas Felyun, like a Stephen Cook, like making his test debut, at the age of 34.
Yeah.
I mean, your Kagiso Rabadas were from high school, the Touted Lions set up immediately, and Vivian Mulder as well, who came to training at the Lions in his school uniform.
Wow.
To see all those guys, I mean, like making it in, like in their careers.
In international cricket.
And international cricket as well. I mean, like that's something like that makes me like sleep well at night. But like the disappointment of not getting that post at the time, but because I felt I was ready and my time at the Lions was done. I mean, like that was time for me to move.
You had done
on.
everything.
Like I'd done everything, and also it was time for me to move on. What disappointed me as well after that snap was to sit at home for 5 months without a job. Like I sat at home, like no job, go to interviews and not get anything.
Wait, coach, wait. I cannot just move past this. Here is a coach, Geoffrey Toyana, who has won everything that is there to be won in franchise cricket. It does not get better than Geoff Toyana at the time. But you are here sitting telling us that you sat without a job and you went to interview after interview and you were still not getting a look into.
Yeah, like nothing came for me, Benj, and it's something that hurt me a lot. Thinking maybe someone at Cricket South Africa has something, against me, because like there were rumors at the time as well that I've got a black agenda.
Oh.
Just rumors which were quite baseless. Seeing like the Lions team at the time take on the field with 8 black African players, and winning, because like the perception from some sectors is that once you play black African players in cricket, like your team becomes weak.
So was this just a rumor, or do you know the person from which it came?
Yeah, so someone at the top, came to whisper, like in my ear, that maybe like the reason why you didn't get the Protea job was that you've got a black agenda. So I'm sitting, I'm like, I've got a black agenda. How do I have a black agenda in Africa?
Can you name this person?
No.
No, name and shame. I mean, we're here. Let's hear the names of the people who said that.
No. I can't name anyone. But, like that thing, like really hurt me a lot. And to listen to a Chris Nenzani, like the president at the time, at CSA, go on the radio station with Robert Marawa and publicly, proclaim that Jeff was a missed opportunity. Like that really, brought back, the head, like not the head of entitlement, no. I do believe that I'm one of the best coaches in South Africa, but because I work hard as well.
I mean, it's not bragging if you can back it up. You've got the trophies to back it up.
Yeah, so like for Chris to go to radio and say that, and then here I am sitting at home without a job. Things didn't balance for me. And then when the opportunity to go to the Titans came, that's like what I thank Titans for. I mean, like for bringing me back to the coaching setup as assistant coach, which is something that I enjoyed, at the Titans. Again, going there, like Protea players and more trophies as well,
And some might have said, coach, that you took a job as an assistant. When you've been head coach at the Lions, you've won trophies there, you've done everything that's there to be done. Some looked at your appointment at the Titans as going back in your career, 1 step forward, 2 steps back type of thing, regressing in your career. Did you look at it that way? Do you feel that you regressed when you went to the Titans?
Yeah, but people were saying that. But for me, I mean, I didn't look at it that way, because for me to come back again like, and get involved at the highest level. I mean, like, that was something like that was driving me. And also to be like assistant coach as well at that level. I mean, you are still, a coach. I mean, your contribution, is valued as well. So like for me to come in as well and work and help Mandla, but because he was starting up as well as the head coach, so like that's something that gave, that gave me, like great joy. Like we worked well together for like 4 years. I mean, winning trophies, as I've just said. And then, I could have stayed long at the Titans, but I felt I need, like a new challenge.
Yeah.
Like a new challenge to be head coach, because I love the pressure. Like I want to be at the helm. I mean, I want to be the one, calling the shots, know. So like that's why, like I left Titans and came to Easterns, where people still feel that, coming to Div 2, maybe,
was
just
a step down.
Was a step down, which for me again, I mean, like I'm a cricket coach. I mean, you can take me to any school or to coach under 9s or under 10s or under 12s. I mean, I'm quite passionate about coaching, irrespective of where, I coach.
Tabangure, the former vice president of the board of Cricket South Africa, the former CEO of Cricket South Africa, was quoted as having said at the Advocate Dumisa Ntsebeza commission, so to speak, that they, as Cricket South Africa, literally killed the careers of you, Geoff Toyana, and Paul Adams. Do you see that? Do you look at it that way?
Well, I'm still here. Yes, at the time. I mean, when you hear people saying those things, and then like there's no consequence as well. You're still left in the dark. You're still left to like rot somewhere else. Like that what hurts more. For me to be still here and still believing that, like for South Africa to win the World Cup, like a Geoffrey Toyana like has to be a part of something somewhere. Yeah, but because I win trophies. I'm not bragging or anything like that. Everywhere I've been, like there's been trophies following me. So for the Proteas to win a cricket World Cup one day, a Geoffrey Toyana, like has to be somewhere there.
Wow. I mean, what do you say after that? That is just dropping the mic. Also, 2027, the World Cup coming back to South Africa in conjunction with Namibia and Zimbabwe, I think, is also a part of that. And hopefully, as the coach said, he has to be involved somehow for us to win that World Cup. Let's wrap it up. You mentioned that you're not a fan of Orlando Pirates. You are a fan of Mamelodi Sundowns. I don't get how that works. You are all the way in Orlando. I don't get how this happened. But you're a fan of Mamelodi Sundowns. What do you then make as a football fan or as a sport fan of their dominance in South African football? They look to just be steamrolling over everyone season after season. It's been 6 seasons winning the league back to back. What do you make of that? And also Liverpool. You're a huge Liverpool fan as well. Do you think they've lost it? Do you feel that the slump in the last couple of weeks was detrimental to their chances of Klopp's swan song being a victorious one?
Yeah, I think to start off with Liverpool, I think Klopp, announced his departure, too early. And yes, we are suffering. Like to lose like that Merseyside derby, 2-0 with like the title just around the corner. It's something that has knocked me back. I mean, yes, I had a tough night.